pregnant.
I smoke pot.
Spanish man began to enslave our people, so shaman enslaved him.
Welcome back to Planet Phobia, your friendly neighborhood horror fan. Enough chit-chat, let's jump into today's list of 5 underrated horror movies found on Tubi. Werewolves Within. This first entry is from 2021, and the cast includes Sam Richardson, who is funny as hell in a show called Detroiters. Check it out if you're looking for a good laugh. Milana Vaintrub. Don't blame you if you don't recognize this name, but her claim to fame is being the AT&T girl. And Harvey Whailing, who also appeared in Companion, a pretty good horror offering from earlier this year. This film follows a group of people stranded by a snowstorm in a small Vermont town. Soon, people and pets start disappearing, and the group turns on each other, believing one of them to be a hairy beast who enjoys full moons. This one is no masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? It makes for a fun watch. The cast pulls off some decent acting, the style and action of the movie will keep you interested, and it's also kind of an old-fashioned whodunit. If you like movies that keep you guessing who the main antagonist is while also enjoying a good monster flick that brings some laughs, I recommend grabbing the popcorn and firing this one up on Friday night. Brainscan. With a soundtrack including White Zombie, Primus, Tad, and Butthole Surfers, this one is dripping in 90s nostalgia. Dropping in 1994, Brainscan stars John Connors himself, none other than Edward Furlong, who plays Michael, a down-and-out teen who was involved in a car accident that took the life of his mother and left him with a severely injured leg. Michael lives with his mostly absent father and finds himself lonely and isolated. Michael's hobbies include creeping on his next-door crush Kimberly and being part of a horror fan club with his best and only friend, Kyle.
I want to be Kyle.
Kyle tells Michael about a new ultra-realistic game known as Brainscan. Intrigued, Michael puts in his order. After receiving the first disc in the mail, the fun begins. This part of the movie is pretty interesting. When starting the game, he is met by the Trickster, who informs him this game works off hypnotic suggestion, and for the first demo, he wants Michael to act like a psychotic killer. Hunt someone down and take their life. It's just a game, right? What could go wrong? Michael wakes the next day shocked but also oddly thrilled by the experience he just had. That is, until he sees the news discussing the recent murder of a man with all the same details as the murder that happened in the game. This movie was pretty adventurous for its time. Just the concept of the game, how it can affect the player's mind, and the consequences that arise when you give yourself over to it. Honestly, you could spruce it up a little and it wouldn't be out of place as an episode on a show like Black Mirror. Also, the Trickster is pretty badass. His name suits him well, and basically this dude is all about chaos. I enjoyed this one, and if you want something different to watch, or if you want to rediscover this 90s horror gem, give Brainscan a watch today. Released in 2016, The Wailing is a South Korean horror film. Set in a small village, this one focuses on a police officer and his daughter. After a strange illness starts to affect local villagers, this movie breaks down into a race for survival and a hunt for answers. Outside of America, South Korea produces some of the best horror movies with titles like The Sadness and Train to Busan. The Wailing is no exception. These films all seem to have a gritty realism, but they really work hard on character development, making you feel interested in the story arc. This film delves into paranoia as villagers start pointing the finger at each other. But soon the movie becomes a race against the clock as the father searches for answers to cure this strange sickness once his daughter begins to show symptoms. The Wailing is much more than a typical zombie movie. In fact, the zombies are more of a byproduct of the spiritual battle that is taking place behind the scenes. With a runtime of 2.5 hours and in subtitles, this one may not be for everyone, but if you choose to view this one, the payoff is amazing. The ending is truly superb and boasts one of the creepiest scenes in recent memory that'll be sure to stick with you long after watching this one. Okay, horror fans, for this next entry, let's travel back to 2003. Ah yes, times were simpler, pants were low, 50 Cent was into club, and for some reason I still can't fully comprehend, flash mobs were a thing.
Huh?
Getting back on track, let's look at a movie you can stream on Tubi that without a shadow of a doubt personifies the term underrated. DeadEnd stars Ray Wise and Lin Shaye. When an ordinary road trip with the family turns into a never-ending journey until a hearse and a ghostly lady in white start to make their presence known. This dysfunctional family tries everything to survive the night, but fate has other ideas. DeadEnd is such a good movie. This one came out during a time when I lived and breathed horror movies, and strangely enough, I had never heard of it until recently. Most of this movie takes place inside the family's car, with the mother, father, younger brother, older sister, and her boyfriend. You feel like you're another passenger right there with them, listening in on their personal conversations. Watching the mom and dad bicker and sing songs, while the brother and sister antagonize each other, it lulls you into a sense of normality until something just seems off. Nothing major, just small signs that something doesn't seem to add up. Then comes the woman in white holding a newborn baby. The family tries to help her out, then realize the baby is no longer living and the woman vanishes. Soon, the appearance of a hearse brings with it impending doom. DeadEnd has some gory kills, ghostly apparitions, and early 2000s charm. If this one fell through the cracks for you, like it did for me, you can change that today and check it out on Tubi. For the horror fan that's seen it all, maybe this one will be something new to enjoy. Released in 2018, Gehenna, Where Death Lives is an American-Japanese horror movie. When a group of real estate developers travel to the South Pacific looking for property to turn into a new resort, pure evil is unleashed when they stumble upon an abandoned World War II bunker. I really like this one and find it absolutely terrifying. Honestly, it's creepy to the max. Rotten Tomatoes may not agree, but hey, we like what we like, and maybe this will be a title you too can enjoy. As soon as the group enters the bunker complex, you can just tell something is off. The telltale signs of rituals and human remains are strewn throughout the area. Then come the auditory and visual hallucinations, which tie into the past and the atrocities that took place. Soon the group learns of the evil supernatural power that exists in this underground hell. Something about this movie just sticks with me. The paranoia, the anxiety, the possibility of being stuck in a time loop, and the horrible realization that the only way to be spared an eternity of damnation is to do what every fiber in your body is telling you not to do, which is die, and die fast. For the one who holds out last is forever condemned to Gehenna, where death lives. That's a wrap on this video. I hope you found these underrated horror movies on Tubi interesting, and maybe you found a new title or two to add to your library. A big thank you goes out to all the subscribers on this channel. It's been really awesome reading all your comments. I like hearing your take on these films and hearing your suggestions. Keep them coming. Until next time, this is Planet Phobia signing off, and as always, wishing you good luck on your horror journey.